Welcome to another episode of the Atlanta REALTORS Association Rundown, the #1 podcast for realtors in Georgia. I'm your host, Helen Hernandez Archer, and if you have not yet subscribed to our podcast, please like and subscribe so you never miss our great interviews, content, and conversations with the best in the real estate industry in Georgia or in the U.S. Today, I'm excited that I am joined by this branding expert and author lady, Coleen Otero. Coleen is a brand strategist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the CEO Chick Network, a community dedicated to empowering women entrepreneurs to scale their businesses. As the author of Brand to Bucks, she leverages over 20 years of experience in the beauty and branding industries to teach professionals how to monetize and market their brands effectively. Today, we're going to have a lot of things to talk about, but I am more excited because we have your second edition. Bravo.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Welcome, Coleen.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Helen.
You're welcome. Today's, we're going to be unpacking how to build a brand and that not only stands out, but truly converts and sustains. So tell us a little bit about your story. How did you ended up being with this book and how did you ended up in branding?
Yeah, that's a great question. First off, again, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you. And of course, to talk about branding, right? That's just my jam. To answer your question, I started in the beauty industry doing hair and makeup, working between Atlanta and Orlando, and really built a great book of business for myself, especially with having a young family. I had younger ones at the time, and I was looking for a way to scale, increase my income without having to work harder. I was, isn't that what everyone's after right now? And so I was trying to figure out how to transition between the beauty industry and what I could do. I created products. I have a saying, products go places where you can't. So I said, okay, let me create some beauty products that I can share and put out to the world. But I realized really quickly that I was still going to have to fuel, right? That me showing up, showcasing and educating would still fuel the sales of those products. And so something started to happen that was quite magical. I started, because of social media, having women ask me questions about their brands, because now here it is with Facebook on the rise. And for those that are on here that are like me, I started on MySpace.
Oh, girl.
I went from MySpace.
I know. I that's where I met my husband.
Okay, good. Started on MySpace, ended up on Facebook, and things really started to take off. Reality TV was still fairly new. And so before you knew it, there were different women that were reaching out like, hey, I want to create a book. I want to really work on my personal brand. And I love yours. I love how you post. I love some of the stories you share, the events that you're hosting, and I want to do more. Can you help me with a logo? Can you help me with a brand? And there it was. That was my aha moment. By the time I got to like woman 12 in my DM, sister number 12, thank you. By the time I got that question, and it was diverse industries, not just the beauty industry, that was when the light bulb went off for me. And so I just started to deep dive, research. I spent so much time in bookstores, really reading up on the importance of building a personal brand. And that's what we're here to discuss. And so now I transitioned. I'm beauty from beauty to branding.
Yeah. So people think, and talk about logo, people think branding is a logo, that is a website, that is a slogan. But what do you see as the biggest mistake you see professionals make when it comes to branding?
Yeah, really just in the question you stated, they don't really understand what it is. My definition of branding is it is the spirit or the essence of a person or organization. And so now when you put it in that way, you're like, well, what does that mean? Well, it's beyond the logo. It's the experience that you create. It's the way you make people feel. It's your customer's journey. It is lived experiences, right? And so now we have to take all of those things into consideration to really understand what an individual organization's brand really is, right? So it's beyond just what we see.
So what's the difference between looking polished, for instance, and actually being positioned with authority. And I know you know a lot about authority.
The difference between being polished, well, yeah, authority means you get stuff done. That really is it, right? We see in your industry, I have a lot of clients in the real estate industry, and a lot of times we're having to really not just show up with a look, right? Like looks matter. I get it. You know, it is important how you present yourself. But at the end of the day, can you really, you know, get results for your clients and your customers? Do you understand the work that is really being done, right? And do you have a savvy way or creative way of being able to market it? How are you going to stand out? And so we spend a lot of time there. So the difference is really you being a subject matter expert, you knowing your field, you being a true master, being okay with really learning the ins and outs, even again, bring it back home for you, the title process, the mortgage process, like really just beyond, oh, this is a nice house with a beautiful kitchen counter.
Right.
Right. You know, so you really just want to go deeper.
Right. And so how can agents stand out without feeling sales driven, do you think?
I don't think it's a this or that. I think it's this and that. You know, we're in business, so we definitely want to not just see a person that is coming to the office looking good and TikToking, but they don't have sales.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because now you just have a hobby.
That's right.
Okay.
And there's a lot of that out there.
There is.
And there is. So it's interesting that I do see a lot of success in fake it till you make it. Okay. But I think ultimately is what you said. Branding is really about the experience and the spirit and essence of, I even wrote it down, spirit and or essence of an organization. So in that sense, there's a lot of talks about authenticity these days. Oh, you need to be authentic. You need to be you. But there's borderline things that you should not be authentic about. Okay, let's be real about that. And of course, for many years in my case, I had, I come from a background of CNN, so everything is perfection.
Correct.
Your hair, the way you speak, the way you say the words, I have an accent.
Yes.
Okay, let's face it, people. So for many years, I was afraid of even having a camera on me. And here I am now doing a podcast because I just didn't want to be perfect anymore. I just wanted to be authentic. And even in the authenticity of things, you still feel like an imposter syndrome. Like, okay, well, I've been in the business for 20 years. It's time for me to start talking in front of the camera. So how do you become authentic and really relax? So I started doing videos about running. I started doing videos about all the things that I do, triathlons and that sort of thing, and seeing that people will see me in the true self with my kids and vacations. And so what is the borderline on that? What's your take?
I think it's different because the real answer to that is predicated on your audience.
Okay.
I really believe that. Like oftentimes we're having conversations as to maybe what for women, how they present themselves is something too sexy, right? There's been a lot about how women dress and what role they're in and is it appropriate. And I think at the end of the day, it's about the audience that you have and them getting to know you and building what we call almost like a cult-like following. There is a place and time where we are right now where you can really have an audience that just feels so connected to you because of social media. And so some of the things you're talking about with sharing your family stories and things that you love to do, all of that helps to build an emotional connection. Ultimately, at the end of the day, people aren't buying from brands or corporations, they're buying from people. This is why different actors get hired or different individuals or not just celebrities, but even entertainers or athletes. They are hired to wear certain sneakers or certain gear, right? Because they have an audience that just loves them and trusts them. And so we're really pulling on that same principle when it comes to social media. Social media, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're in business, social media is for your business. It is for you to build an audience, an emotional connection, build community that will get to know, like, and trust you. So it's really the same principle. What's too much?
Yes.
You're like, get back to that. Answer the question.
No. It's
what's too much?
What's too much? And I see some people that take it a little bit over the top, and that's okay. But who cares? Because they are attracting their tribe.
Yeah, and your comfort level also determines, right? It's a sweet spot. It's like your audience and you. Like, the sweet spot is what they want and what you enjoy, and kind of like finding that happy medium between the things you're putting out there that they want to know about, that they want to learn about. Giving value-based content is very important when you're sharing.
I think that's the number one.
Yeah, I do too. Even if it's down to, what you do to prepare as an athlete, when you're in that athletic mode and you're preparing to run a triathlon or whatever your goal is and where you're racing at, and how can you tie that into being an entrepreneur, being in your peak, being at your, fit to be able to get up and make tough decisions. All of those things tie together.
They say the way you do one thing is the way you do all
everything.
Things.
That's
and
right.
That's why I've been more and more open about being, and after talking to you, I think like a year and a half ago, we started having this conversation about branding, and it clicked when you said, people need to know the real you, not the perfect you.
Yeah.
And so I started opening more about this, this endurance of an athlete I am, that I play the same in my business.
Yeah.
I go the extra mile in the resilience.
Yeah, that's a good series you should do. Treat real estate, it's a sport, and you should tie it into.
Look at that. But let me write that down.
No, seriously, because you just said it, right? You're answering some of your own questions. I'm just helping you make it make sense, right?
This is why you're so good, Coleen. Oh my gosh. This is
real
awesome.
estate, it's a sport, right? You can have different series on how you tie the two together, the two things you're most passionate about together.
That's awesome. I actually had notes from your book, and one of the quotes from your book that I love was, people buy the who before they buy the what.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about, that was when I opened, I think that was like in page 17 or something, right at the beginning. I'm like, okay, so then I need to focus on the who.
Yeah.
Rather than the what. And the who is me.
That's right.
The who is us as realtors. And I think that's critical. And in this year, I think the theme overall, especially with this merger that we had recently, which we're going to talk about, it's all about branding. That's what I hear consistently. It's all about branding. So let's talk about what I just mentioned earlier. In 2026, Compass completed an all-stock $1.6 billion merger with Anywhere Real Estate, bringing brands like Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Better Homes and Gardens, and Sotheby's International Realty under one umbrella, under Compass leadership. And there's been this public discussion about preserving individual brand identities versus potential dilution of that distinct brand value, specifically, in my opinion, luxury.
Yeah.
From the branding perspective, what is the risk when the two major real estate companies combine, especially with these deeply established machines in real estate like Coldwell Banker and Century 21, they are now all merged under one roof. What's your perspective? What's the risk of agents or the brand?
Yeah, ultimately, I think it's a great thing, and we shouldn't look at it from a negative perspective, right? Change is happening in multiple industries right now, right? At rapid rates, I might add, because of technology, we're seeing so much changes. But at the end of the day, it's not so much about infrastructure. It's more about their personal identity, right? It still ties back down to you being able to take control of your career, you being able to take control of your book of business, and building a connection with your audience. I do see where there are concerns and could be concerns, because you now wonder, what is the support I'm going to get, right? Are we still going to be able to be that like niche, bespoke experience that we want to provide when it comes to luxury? And at the end of the day, that's a question that I personally can't answer. You know, maybe you might know more about that than I do as far as the support coming from headquarters with the merger. But we see it in fashion. We see it in so many industries. When you peel beyond the layers, Helen, you start to see like, oh my goodness, all of these brands are owned by, you know what I mean? But they still have individuality. And so, again, I would bring it back to not really freaking out about the infrastructure piece, but focus on that identity. Focus on your brand identity.
That's awesome. And I agree. And that's why we're here talking about branding, because you wrote this book, Brand to Bucks, which is your second edition. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, if the fact that you're doing a second edition is fantastic. I mean,
change has happened rapidly. We have to keep up.
That's right. So what inspired you to write this book?
So I love helping women, as I mentioned before. Entrepreneurship is about service, right? Being a realtor is about service. And so I was getting so many questions from different women entrepreneurs, and there were some questions I couldn't answer. So it put me on a journey, because I wanted to figure out, okay, what does it truly mean to have a successful brand that you can monetize? Yes, I've been an entrepreneur all of my life, been in the beauty industry. I'm used to being a walking billboard. Till this day, people ask me, who does your hair? Who does your makeup? You know, I'm not in that industry anymore, but there are women in my network that I give referrals to all the time.
Do you do your own hair?
No, I mean, my extensions, I have someone that does it who helps me. I do my own makeup, and yes, I still style my hair. But what was the question, Helen?
No, the question is
why did I write the book?
Why did you write the book? I mean, what inspired you? I guess to answer to all these women who were. And is it mostly women?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yes. Women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs in America. They start the most businesses, and they unfortunately tend to have less revenue. There's still a revenue gap when it comes to male versus women. And so I really am on a journey to see that narrative change. But that's what started it. Being able to transition from beauty into branding, it was a natural progression for me. And so the book came out of that, because I love to teach. I love to read. I love to teach. And so it's just in me learning something, I pen. I prefer writing. I prefer radio over TV and being seen. I'm used to working behind the scenes. I'm used to working on the celebrities, not the one being interviewed. That was a shift for me, having to make that change. But ultimately, it was just out of service and giving people something, especially when I realized, Coleen, you have to scale. You're getting into the coaching and the consulting. And if someone cannot afford you, what would you say to that person? So here is a book you can afford. Everything is in it. They said they said all the secrets are in the book, right? If you want to know secrets of the world, they're hidden, on pages, in between pages. And so a book was a blessing to me and my family when we were going through financial hardship and great loss. Again, reading books on finances, reading books on how to recover after certain short sales, and you name it. I've been through it. Repossessions, all the things, how having to shut down businesses before. So how do you recover from that? And so,
but isn't it amazing how God puts you in those places? So now you can actually educate other women and entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. It's like you're not just going through it for yourself. And so I plainly very much am vulnerable with my story, right? And just really sharing it. But the book has been a game changer. And I had to do a part 2, Helen, because with AI on the scene and people creating AI twins and now learning the difference between just growing a business and scaling it at the 2 different scenarios.
So that leads me
I had to dive into it.
Yes. So that exactly is the lead to my next question, which is in your book, you talk about scaling versus growth.
Yeah.
Tell us what's the difference.
Yeah. And I give 2 case studies, 2 different clients in there, one pretty well. And so I share one young lady, she had a med spa and she wanted to scale her business. However, she was not at a position to actually scale. She had to really just grow her model first and then figure out ways to duplicate it almost like franchise style in order to scale. And so in short, the difference between being able to grow your business, so I'm not too long-winded here, is being able to make more money without having to increase your costs. Okay. Right. So ultimately, the med spa owner, she was able to grow her business, but her costs increased as a result of it. Okay. And then the other case study that I share was a realtor, and she was able to shift the way she did business as well due to certain technology and the platform that she used and so on and so forth. And so her costs was controlled. Mm-hmm. And she was still able to scale her business by doing something unique, using a different approach to the industry. So those are 2 different models right there that kind of share how you can grow versus scale. Now, and maybe you can clean that up for me and sum it up better.
No. It's important because you do have, and I have the book. I even have the book with me because I was looking into and marking everywhere because it's so good. What is the difference? And there's some key elements of scaling: systems and processes, technology.
Those are key.
Yeah, customer acquisition, market reach, and so. It leads me to why scaling is crucial for long-term success.
Yeah.
And, scaling allows businesses, and I'm quoting from the book, scaling allows businesses to increase profitability without a direct correlation to rising costs, which is exactly what you were saying. So for someone who's listening as a realtor, and I always like to give a real application to, for instance, a solo agent. Mm-hmm. What would you say to a solo agent in terms of, as they're listening to us, what would be something practical that they can take action today or this week or this month without having to incur in so much cost that they could immediately see some results?
Yeah. I would say figure out what digital product you could create. That's what it would boil down to.
But Coleen, I hate doing videos.
Oh,
because this is the excuse out here all the time from my peers.
Yeah.
Including me. That was me many years ago.
Then they hate making money.
Oh, okay. When you put that there, right. So when you put
this is the world that we are in. It's like, oh, what if you're hiring an agent and they say, oh, I don't like social media. I'm not going to do any social media. They start to tell you I'm not good on the computer. In fact, I don't even have a smartphone. Is that someone you want to hire?
Oh, no.
Exactly.
I mean, you need the essential tools.
Keep up with the times.
And not only that, but also you need to be current.
That's right.
Right. Just like you just said, but I think you can't be a secret agent.
Correct.
Jeez, you're in the business of people.
That's right.
And you don't need to be a superstar, but at least do a video or 2 in there. Come on. It's easy.
We have to get with the times, and it really is just that simple.
So prepare. Mm-hmm. So select the method. Number 1. Select the method would be like, for instance, like you mean like
the
Instagram?
Medium, or which medium you want, what platform you want to focus on. Get comfortable doing video. If you have to hire someone to coach you through that process, it's okay. But ultimately, you're talking about how can they see additional streams of income without having to incur more costs. And so doing something digital, pouring yourself into a digital product as a realtor that has some experience, you can actually create a the journey in which most realtors may go and different benchmarks in which they experience success. And you can actually say, okay, when you look at this, this timeline of the realtor's like success journey or real estate success journey, whatever it is for you as a solo agent, where are you? Yeah. Right? And who can you teach
and it's
coming up?
And you could actually go to AI because I did recently. You can go to AI and AI will, meaning Chat GPT, and there's so many others that you could type in, give me a month of videos, topics and themes, and it will spit it out, and then you just say, oh, this is not me. Well, make it more personable. Make it more faith-driven. Make it more whatever-driven, And so
you can tell it to ask you questions. Tell ChatGPT to interview you because you want to come up with a series to speak to which target audience. So whether you want to speak to realtors and create a digital product for realtors, you want to create something for investors, you can tell the AI, OpenAI, to interview you to help make sure that you give it the responses and information and data needed to have a thorough campaign.
So I know that you, because I bought them from you, the AI prompts, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the AI prompts.
Yeah, let's go there.
So you created the prompts. Is it specifically for all businesses, or you can go as deep as you want?
It is. I keep everything focused on principles because the principles, just like my book, regardless of the industry that you are in, these principles are pretty much the same. And so in approaching AI, which we're speaking of right now, I use the same process, right? Whether it's hiring, how to delegate, certain tasks and create SOPs. We all need those various things, a standard operating procedure, right? So how to create that, moving into finances and taking care of your finances and the different things you need to do to be above board in that area. So I cover everything. It's called Building Your Brand with AI. It's on my Instagram and my Stan store. It's a great, great class. Yes. Even down to how to use Gemini to produce photo shoots. Some of the photos on my social media are all AI generated with my likeness.
No kidding. Okay. Now I'm knowing really the tricks over here.
Yes.
This is fantastic. I did not know that.
Yes.
That's good. Well, yes. I'm definitely going to follow that because there's so much out there that we could do that we don't need money for.
Yeah, exactly. And again, what is going to make it unique is your lived experience. What's going to make it different is your authenticity, you putting your essence and your spirit on that product.
Fantastic. Now, where can they find you and grab the book?
You can go to ColeenOtero.com or you can look for me on all platforms, Coleen Otero CEO.
Now, I know that you also have how many followers?
Today, it actually hit 173,000 on my page. And for the community, my network, CEO Chicks, we're at about 65.
That's fantastic. So tell us about CEO Chicks.
Yes.
CEO Chicks.
CEO Chicks. You got it.
So tell us about it. What is that community all about and who can join?
So women who aspire to build online brands, it is called CEOChicksOnline.com. We want women that desire, regardless of your industry, you want to build an online brand, you want to create digital products, you want to create books, you want to be an author, a speaker. So you want to be able to work from anywhere in the world. You are looking to build community on your social media pages. That it's ideal for an individual that wants to be.
That's a big network you have created.
Brand.
How long have you had it?
We turned 10 in August. Goodness. CEO Chicks has been around since 2016. I've had the privilege of coaching over 1,000 women. We've had different iterations, ebbs and flows, and we're going even harder again and niching down in the digital marketing and digital business space.
Do you do events that general public can come to?
Oh, yes. We have a Galentine coming up at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando. We're based out of Orlando, so most of our events are there. We also have Women's History Month is coming up in March. And so for March, we're going to do a beautiful rooftop event. We're going to live record our podcast. We're doing something called the CEO Chick Chats, and we're just taking it podcast style. Normally, that's what our IG lives are titled. So now we're just going to take it podcast style.
Wow. Okay. And I know that you've also had a show.
Oh,
on
yes,
TV.
yes. Not really. So you're talking about the Bravo?
Yes.
Yeah. So we took a group of our CEO chicks over to I went twice. We did Below Deck. That's
Yes,
right.
Below
We
Deck.
filmed. We were on an episode of Below Deck, which was with Captain Sandy, which was a great experience out of Greece. We
Wow.
did a yacht trip out of Greece, which was awesome.
And what other industries besides real estate do you cover?
Great
those
question.
listening.
Great question. Again, medical is a big one. Like licensed psychotherapists, those that are almost moving out of therapy and getting into life coaching. There are different things logistically that will keep a therapist more localized to their community. And now with social media technology, a lot of women are looking to build a brand bigger than their city, and they have an opportunity to do that. And so I'm helping them create like life coaching programs and becoming more, again, of a subject matter expert online, right? With those one-liners and hooks and nuggets that people need to see on their timeline to help with their overall mental wellness. So mental health is a big one. Beauty is another one. Of course,
That's
women in the
huge,
beauty
yes.
industry, that's big for us. Trying to think of a few. AI is huge. There are some women which we need in tech. For the most part, that's really good. Some entertainers, I have some entertainers, some performers in our community. It's so colorful. It's so
Yes.
colorful. Women are just amazing.
So if someone who is listening is interested in following you, go to Coleen Otero, and I'll have it in the notes so you have it as well. But you are a world of knowledge and branding and awesomeness. So thank you so much for being
Thank
here with
you.
us. Such a gift having you, and it just so happened that you were in Blue Ridge,
Yes.
stopping on your way down. So
Yes.
we are honored to have you. And so that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and keep building the business you deserve. If you have any suggestions, please email us to podcast@atlantarealtors.com. And until next time, take care and keep moving forward.